I am here representing dozens of people that I've talked to. They couldn't be here. A lot of them are in that soccer field right now. They wish they could have been here. They could not. This was very short notice. Obviously, this particular issue wasn't on the agenda. And I want to say, you know, the timing of all of this almost seems like it was just trying to be pushed under the rug and not, you know, addressed. I mean, we're talking the day after open house on Labor Day weekend, and this email, I mean, at least a dozen people that I talked to didn't even know that this email had even gone. They had no clue. So their kids went to school today with this policy in place, and they're floored. I mean, and I talked to, like I said, dozens of people. I think I talked to 2 people that were somewhat neutral. You know, they didn't seem to care, but the overwhelming majority were certainly, I mean, the most common thing was WTF, okay? These are our children, our most precious children, and this is a huge policy change. And again, I understand it's in line with state law, okay, but there is no federal mandate. This has not gone through all the way through the courts. I do personally believe, my humble opinion, that in the end, this will not stand. I could be wrong. That's my opinion and my beliefs. Again, I think we're all pretty well educated here. I think we, you know, understand. You probably heard all of the, you know, the concerns from, you know, parents on this issue. I mean, this isn't a new thing, right? This has been, you know, years, right? Other states they're much further along than where we're at right now. But obviously, some of it, I mean, we're talking about the most precious years of our children's, you know, psychological development. And we teach our children, right, to respect their bodies, and it's their private bodies. And now they're going to be subjected to having to be in a bathroom and a locker room, undressing with boys. I know that's not politically correct to say, but you have the biology, right? You're an XX and an XY. We understand there sometimes are deformations. There's sometimes you know, there's birth defects. People are born certain ways, but we're talking about children who, if I ask my son what he would want to eat, he'll tell me Lucky Charms for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so it's in my opinion that this should be something that maybe a child grows up, and then when they're an adult, right, they can make whatever choices they want. You guys remember being a teenager, right? You can all say we remember being a teenager. What's to stop someone who's technically not transitioning from going into the locker room and watching my daughter undress? Because as I know it, as I read that email, and it seems as if this is a blanket policy that is going to apply to the general public as well. Now, I understand the locker rooms are for students and faculty, but the bathrooms. So when I'm here for the Babcock Francoeur basketball tournament that my child's in, some guy off the street can just walk into the girls' room. That's unacceptable for me, okay? Where are the feminists in all of this? You know, we've for decades, we've gone for women's rights, and we've come so far, but now our girls are going to be marginalized. I mean, because this applies to athletics too, right? And there's a couple of court cases going on in Connecticut right now, where you have girls that are missing out on scholarships because you have transgender athletes who could not compete against men and win, and then go over against women and break records. Again, I empathize with these people and the things that they're struggling with their minds. But again, it's something that I feel there's got to be, so again, I have some questions. So the policy, so is that a fact that the general public could go into the girls' room in these schools?
Let me address the question and answer part of that. As a school board, not one of us can speak for the school board, so that's the main premise as to why it doesn't turn into a question and answer, because even though I'm the chair, I cannot speak for the entire board. So unless it's a simple question that the administration can answer, we're going to have to wait for a united answer from the board. We're happy to give answers to any questions that you have, but some of them may take time. It may take a meeting for us to to get a consensus, or a majority at least, to have a position. I can't just tell you my position.
Okay. Was it the board, because I looked for the minutes and I did not see that this was at the last meeting. So did the board vote for this? Was there a meeting, right, the school board would have to approve of any policy change?
That I can answer. There was a public meeting posted and held on
Last Tuesday.
Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. at the SAU office.
Okay. And how long had that been posted for?
The Friday before.
The Friday before, so literally 2 working days.
But it was a pressing issue. The board couldn't wait till our next meeting after the start of school. We had to lay some groundwork here, we had a request from a family recently that we had to, as a school district, address that and answer that request. It required a consultation with our district attorney as well as our school board association attorney. We took their guidance and we met and we acted on that. That's how we got to where we are today.
Okay. Because again, I'm going to have, obviously, right, this isn't the time for the Q&A, I understand that. For me, it would have seemed like maybe if this was such an urgent meeting and it was a public meeting, why wasn't an email sent out, hey, there's a school board meeting tonight? Public, come on down and discuss. Nobody knows about these meetings, right? And that's shame on us for not being diligent and following through, right? But my God, like I said, half there's people on that soccer, there's hundreds of people out there. They couldn't be here tonight. And again, when you're talking about a 2-day window, I mean, it makes it very difficult for the public to be heard. Certainly I understand that, the law came through, but again, I feel that it's not going to stand the test, and that's my opinion. Another question, and maybe this, I'm just going to ask him anyway, and then you can tell me yes or no. So as far as the policy, is that email the entirety of the policy?
We do not currently have a policy addressing that, correct? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it at our policy committee yet?
It has not been.
Okay, no, it has not been done, has not gone through our system yet.
Okay, so if it's gone through the system, then why is it already applying?
It's a practice. It's a practice or procedure at this point, not an official school board policy.
Okay, so it's actually not the official policy as of right now, and you guys are working towards crafting some sort of policy that's going to address, I'm sure, a whole host of questions that not just myself, but many other people will be asking as well. And I'm sure that next month at the school board meeting, there's going to be many more people with many more questions. Is my child going to be corrected by a teacher if they use the wrong pronoun? Because that's going to infringe upon their First Amendment right, that's compelled speech. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with a lot of these things that I feel, again, my personal opinion, I'm not a legal scholar. I probably should have gone to law school. I enjoy law, I enjoy public speaking. That ship sailed, right? I have 3 children now. I couldn't afford to possibly do that. But it seems to me that this is a, that I understand, right? So you're saying you had a family that called. You realize, right, that we're for the 1% or less, we're going to again subjugate the 99%. Our most vulnerable girls, our daughters, our sisters, to be. I mean, again, what's going to stop Joe Blow and his buddies from going in the locker room and checking out girls, whether they think they're attractive or they think that they're disgusting, and they're going to go rag on them? Because, again, we were all teenagers. So how is that going to be, how is their privacy and protection going to be assured?
I think we should have time to.
Okay. Administration would like time to craft a response to that.
Okay. Okay. I respect all of you. I feel it sounds like you sought legal counsel. Again, I would question whether that legal counsel was sound, but I understand where you're coming from. But I feel compelled to speak on behalf of not just myself, but I mean, like I said, the overwhelming majority of parents are not comfortable with this. And again, I think that law is very open to interpretation because it also, right, it's basically the anti-discrimination law that we've had on the books for years, and they just added gender in there. Well, religion is also in there. Okay? So this is now infringing upon my religious views that this is not okay for my children to be a part of. So, again, I'm not prepared to bring litigation and go to court right now. I mean, that's not who I am, and I'm hoping that we can work through this. But I certainly feel that there are cases, that we have a case here to bring forth. So, again, I appreciate the time. I know there's other people that want to speak here today. I hope I've been rational. I hope I haven't been unhinged. I know there was a meeting, years ago, and maybe there was some, some elevated emotions, right? And that's, I feel like I am open-minded. Absolutely. I don't want to infringe upon anybody else's rights. But again, my daughter, she's in 5th grade now. So she is at the middle school. And she is going to have, for gym class. Now, when I went to gym class, and this will be my last, you only got credit if you changed. Is that still so? At the middle school, okay, so if my daughter is uncomfortable, she does not have to change, but then she's gonna have to wear her sweaty clothes for the rest of the day. Would there be an alternative safe place for her to undress? And not a single stall bathroom with pee on the floor, but an actual, like an office that is private? Would that be something that is gonna be viable, or?
Yes.
Okay. Athletics, we're talking now, you're opening up. I mean, I could go on and on, right? Obviously, I'm passionate about what I believe. I believe all of you are very passionate in what you believe, and that you are trying to do the right thing. I'm just here to state that this is not a popular opinion with your constituents and with your students and teachers and parents. This is absolutely, I'm sure there are people that are okay with this. Absolutely, I understand that. But in the overwhelming majority, I mean, people that are just straight apolitical, they are just dumbfounded. And again, their opinions, but I think that we need to really be careful and tread lightly moving forward with this, because this is a very hot button issue. So anyway, I thank you all. Have a good night.
Just a
Croc TV.